This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? Welcome to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. All right, guys, the saga continues. Let's just put it this way. So we're constantly having these reoccurring conversations about racism. It just doesn't stop. The relationship between the white, the black, the brown, it's like it's diminishing greatly. And every time we feel like we're taking one step forward towards a better relationship, better understanding, the betterment of our country, our communities and stuff, we have these racist situations that occur, these hateful situations that concern. I mean, it's like America is breeding hate mongers. I just don't get it. We got white hate mongers, we got black hate mongers, we got other nationalities, other ethnicities, gender wars and stuff like that. It's like, it's sick. But still considered to be the greatest country on earth. Everybody wants to come here, everybody wants to live here. But we're gonna talk about it. And tonight's discussion is about, I'm gonna call her by her name because I know who she is. And if you guys did your research and if you partake in social media, or I don't know if it's made the news, national, global, but there's this lady by the name of Shiloh Hendricks that was caught being a nasty, nasty individual. She was caught basically chasing a 5-year-old black child around a playground in Minnesota, calling him the N-word. And we all know what the N-word is. And if you know me, if you watch this platform, I try to shy away from using the word, but I'm going to say it tonight. And you're going to probably hear it several times tonight because, again, we try to sweep this word, this issue, this hate under the rug. And again, you can't even hide it no more. So it's right out there and open. So I don't even think we're doing it any good, any justice when we try to refrain from using the very word that people have designed to try to break us down and stuff like that. The Black nation has tried to repackage this word and represent it and make it something positive and uplifting. I said it before, you can't do it. You can't do it. It's a tool of destruction. And not only has the Black nation become too comfortable with this slur, racial slur, white people all around and other nationalities have become very comfortable with using these words. But if we want to have any change, whereas this is concerned, we have to implement the change, meaning the Black people, we have to do it from within. It's that the change is not going to come from outside sources. So that being said, let's get right to it. We're going to talk about Shiloh Hendricks and her antics. All right, let's get to it. We're gonna go to question one. And again, guys, please answer the question that is being presented. Do not ask another question in the midst of answering the question because it just takes away from the flow of the conversation. All right. All right, here we go. We're going in. Question number one. According to research, Shiloh Hendrix was recorded chasing a black child around a playground in Minnesota while using the N-word. Is there any way, and I repeat, any way to justify this woman's behavior? We're going to go to the ladies first. Patsy, what do you think? Is there any way to justify Shiloh Hendrix' behavior?
Hell no, because as a child, she's grown up, and um, it's just a bunch of nonsense. And to actually, have the attitude, isn't he acting like one? Um, no, there's no excuses. He's being a typical child, 5-year-old, and you can reprimand him in a different way without calling him outside of his name. You can say like, baby, like you taking out my baby's bag. What's going on? Like, and just kind of like, and if anything, you talk to that child's parent instead of doing that. There's no excuse for it.
Okay. Let's get Tanya's perspective. Tanya, is there any way to justify Shiloh Hendrix' behavior? I mean, chasing a child around the park, an adult, and then the worst part of it is referring to the child as the N-word.
No, there's no way to justify it. I agree with Patsy. She should have talked to the parents. When you grow up in a toxic environment, you would think that the person would try to break the generational curses that is going on here, because obviously she was brought up in a racist home and she's teaching her child how to be racist. So there's no generational curse going on, a breakage of the generational curse going on here. And she just seemed content with herself. Like, that's who she is. That's who she want to be. She want to continue it on.
Okay. Robert, what's your perspective? Can you make any excuses? Is there any way to justify Shiloh Hendrix' behavior?
I'm just going to say no. There's no excuses.
Okay. Bert, what do you say? Is there any way to justify her behavior, Shiloh Hendrix?
Ignorance isn't an excuse, so I'm going to go with Bob. Just say, no, there's no excuse. That's just who somebody is, and who are we to judge anybody? At the end of the day, ignorance is her ignorance.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
None whatsoever.
All right. Sean, what's your perspective?
In my eyes, absolutely not. But I guess if I was in her shoes, she's justified because that's the culture of that community that she is from.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody that is a part of tonight's discussion had a chance to answer the first question. Does anybody have a rebuttal? All right. Then I'll just say this before going on to question number two. Uh, Ignorance is definitely no excuse for allowance. You know, people would say, "Oh, well, she didn't know. She was in the heat of the moment and stuff like that." I beg to differ. I think that, you know, like Bird said, in a sense, that's that person's disposition. That's who they are. And again, I just don't think that Shiloh Hendricks is apologetic. So I would just say this: America, if you're looking for an apology, keep waiting for it because it's not going to come. All right, let's go to question number two. Question number two. The media often depicts Black people as thugs, savages, and animals. Please explain to me how the parents of this Black child was able to refrain from behaving as such. Let's go to the gentleman first. Sean, how was the parents of this 5-year-old child able to refrain from behaving like the animals, the savages, and the thugs that media often depicts us as?
I'm assuming they have good home training. They're good, law-abiding, civilized individuals. Um, I don't know that, or it could be a situation to where they acting how you said the media would depict them. What good would it do for their cause?
Mm, okay. Gregory, what do you say? How was the parents of this 5-year-old child able to refrain from being the very thing that America claims that Black people are: savages, animals, and thugs?
I think in this case, that is just something misputting because the kid was autistic. So for her to be saying that he's behaving like whatever the statistics are to be a Negro or a nigger, whatever they want to call us nowadays, it doesn't add up because the kid was obviously mentally ill.
So we know this to be certain that the
You know
kid.
that to be certain. The kid was autistic.
Yeah, and they said he had a disability.
Okay. Hmm. So we're just gonna add more fuel to the fire. Like I said, nasty, nasty, nasty. Bird, what's your perspective? How you feel about the situation? How was these parents of this child ever to refrain from behaving like the thug, the savage, the animal that they claim people of color are?
I think they knew their place. They're in a town that is okay with shit like that. They probably experience it themselves and just try to ignore it. And they might just be in a town that's racist like that. Racist cops, racist courts, racist judge, racist all around. So if they would have responded, that could have been detrimental to them.
Hmm. Robert, what do you say?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I agree with Sean and Bird, and I'm gonna add to because that child had autism. Both mom and dad knew to protect what was most important was the child. Because if they was to act on how they truly felt, they probably would end up with child services in their life, removing child from home, saying that the parents was out of control and they needed, parenting classes and anger management and so on. So I think they acted the way anyone with brains would react to protect their child, not do anything that was gonna get them into trouble and remove child from home or them from the home.
And can I add to Uncle Rob? I don't remember seeing the parents in the video at all, just the person that was recording. I
That's
believe that kid was in the park playing by himself.
mm. Now,
5-year-old autistic kid by itself in the park, that don't make sense either.
No,
now,
I think the person that was doing the video, I think they knew the child and they might have been with the child. That's how they knew the age of that child.
hmm, yeah, that part is not clear. I mean, even during the research, they never came out and said if the parents was present, who the child was in the park with at the time that this occurred. So they
Right.
haven't been very forthcoming with that bit of information. Again, like I said, this is a very nasty individual. And y'all, this depiction that the media has for Black people, it's a false narrative because, as someone said, you know, when we start behaving such a way, of course, we're going to be spotlighted. But who is the true animal, savage, thug in this situation? Who was acting badly in this situation? Wasn't the parents of this Black child, who are, meaning people of color, are often, like I said, depicted as animals, thugs, and savages. But who was behaving like a savage in this situation? I tell you who, Shiloh Hendricks. She wasn't a Black woman. She wasn't a woman of color. She was a white racist woman. That's what she was. And she was the one that was behaving like an animal.
Like a Neanderthal.
So, I mean, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna call it for what it is. Because if you really was dealing with this thug, this savage, this animal, that person would have bust your head open to the white meat for doing something like that to their child. They would have devoured you like the animal that you claim that they are. And it would have been savagery on the highest level. But it didn't happen. So could it be that the people that spread this narrative, that promotes it, are the true savages, the true animals, the true thugs? But I digress. We're going to move on to question number 3. We're going to figure it out by the end of this discussion, trust me. All right, Tanya, before we move on, again, I'm going to let you answer this question. Question number 2, the media often depicts Black people as thugs, savages, and animals. Please explain to me how the parents were able to refrain from behaving as such.
I'm gonna agree with Bird and Robert and say that their environment that they was in probably. I'm just gonna agree with them. I know what they said, but I was kind of in and out. So I'm gonna agree with what they said.
Okay. All right, stay right there. I'm going to come to you first for question number 3. Question number 3. Does America hate the Black race so much that they would turn a blind eye to the mistreatment of Black children? Tanya?
Yes, as
Wow.
simple as that.
Okay. Patsy, what do you say?
I would say the racist America, not America as a whole, that has that attitude, because not all white people in America that believes in the MAGA, Make America Great, believes and adheres to a racist retrospect perspective. So, because obviously you got people like me that are white and don't even have an attitude, a negative thought towards black people. I have a negative thought towards bad behaving people, but not against someone who is a different skin tone, race, nationality, whatever it is. It's about having bad behavior and yeah.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
Can I get the question again, big dog?
Does America hate the black race so much that they would turn a blind eye to the mistreatment of black children?
The mistreatment of black people in general, they turn a blind eye to. It's been going on for the longest. Emmett Till, Rodney King, so on and so on. The name list goes on and on.
Hmm. Bert, what do you say?
I don't want to say that white America hates black people because I just believe they are trying to copy the race right now. Black is intriguing to them. You know, that's old school mentality. I don't think that's the new wave of they hate black so much. I don't believe that. Maybe old racist Confederate flag flying mother effers, yes, but that's just not the wave of
We
America.
stole that too, B.
All countries.
Confederate flags from us.
But I'm saying that Confederate flag, you love Dukes of Hazzards, but they was flying that Confederate racist flag that we knew nothing about back then.
No, they stole it. They stole it from a certain community down there. It's a deep thing behind that, B, too. No bull crap.
So I mean, I just believe there's that old school mentality and then there's that new wave mentality, and the old school ain't there.
Okay. Robert, what's your perspective?
I'm gonna think that I'm not think I'm going to say that the black younger children get treated different than the white younger children. That's obvious. So they pay less attention to a black child's cry than what they pay, they pay closer attention to a white child's cry. So I'm not gonna say they're treating them bad all around the world. I'm just gonna say they expect us to do a lot wrong in life. So they help us less, you know. That's where I'm gonna leave it.
Okay. Sean, what do you say?
Yeah, hatred towards blacks, non-whites, if you will, has increased in America over the last 4 years. Um, it has we've been looked at as such a threat to where you now see the actions of what they're trying to do or what our president just recently did by bringing in the South Africans to where he's shutting down borders, and I don't have a problem with that. But he doesn't dislike immigrants as a whole. He just dislikes black immigrants to where he wants to make the population
Oh,
of the white.
Trump doing
I thought he
everything?
was getting rid of the Mexicans and the Haitians.
Say that again. You thought what?
I said I thought he was getting rid of the Mexicans and the Haitians
Just free Larry
and
Hoover.
the Venezuelans. I didn't know it was all black immigrants.
Well, it's anyone that's not white.
Well, my question, if you had listened to my answer, I started off by saying blacks and non-whites.
Mm-hmm.
So that falls anything that anyone, any ethnic group that's not white falls in that category.
Okay. Um, did everybody get a chance to answer? Anybody want to refute anything that was said?
I don't so much want to refute anything. I just want to say that from the beginning, they didn't have any. We as black people was looked as livestock, as property. So there's no they don't have the view of us as a human being in the first place. And
Exactly.
and secondly, is that we have the older, as Bird said, the older white generation um, that can't get past that. But if there's also some younger generations that carry the same spew of thought or pattern, like I said in the last question, if there's no breakage and the generational curses that goes along, you have the same thing going on in the younger generation too.
Well, I don't know if y'all seen it. There's this lady going around advocating. She's the one that actually got the GoFundMe started for the Shiloh Hendricks lady. She's going around saying that there's this new thing called black fatigue, and white people are tired of black people complaining. How long did they think that they was gonna sit back and listen to us complain about stuff that didn't happen to us and it happened to our ancestors? All this crazy stuff when black fatigue is actually us being placed in a system that makes it hard for us to maneuver around. And it's just kind of crazy that that's the narrative being spun right now. And you got a lot of white people that's against it too, that actually saying that we should hang these people up on street poles and shit, make examples out of
So let me
Yeah,
stop you
yeah,
right there. Let me
yeah.
stop you right there. Did you say there's a lot of white people that is against this narrative, this mindset, but then there are others that believe that these individuals that are spewing such hate should be hung from light poles?
Yes, the
Uh-huh.
GoFundMe shows this for itself, anyways, that she raised over $1 million in a couple of hours after calling a black person a nigga. And then you got the outrage from the people that's kind of on our side because they know that what these people are saying is crazy ignorant. To
So
say that they have black fatigue and they're tired of black people complaining is
so
completely nuts.
let me say this before we go on to question to the next question. Um those individuals and you said these people of the white nation that they sympathize, they empathize, they support our plight for our betterment and equality. But these individuals are also promoting hate when they say they want these would be hate mongers to be hung from flag poles from
I mean, how
like
did you gotta cut it out? You gotta cut out the
yeah,
disease.
but
These people are like it.
that's part of the behavior, the preconditioning. That's why we're in the situation that we are now. These false flaggers, so to speak, they say that they believe in what we believe in, nonviolence and equality, but then they're promoting hate, the very thing, hanging people. I don't want those type of people
I
representing
mean, I
us.
feel the same way about the pedophiles. They should be hung up on the streets and made examples of. This stuff
All
shouldn't be happening.
right,
If
you
you're a
go.
super racist out in the open, you should be dealt with. You should get the same amount of hate punishment as a person would a regular person would calling a homosexual a slander. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's not being implemented in the same way as hate speech for us compared to all these other people that's getting all these rights now.
Okay. Let's go to question number 4. I'm gonna stay with you, Gregory. Everybody else hold tight. Let me see how you feel about this question. Question number 4, according to research, this despicable individual blames the child for her racial tirade and the cruel behavior that the public is displaying for her. She blames them for the cruel public opinion. What do you say to that?
I say this lady picked the right time to use her situation to to call somebody that. You get what I'm saying? It was the perfect time that she can get that word off her chest out loud in the public. Little did she know somebody was recording her, and then it turned into something else where the whole world is on her side. I don't know how that works.
Hmm. Okay. Bird, this despicable individual blames the child for her racial tirade and blames the public for their cruel opinion of her.
Everybody has a right to their opinion, good or bad with her. That's just what it is, you know. I don't really, I'm not as well educated on this case, but I mean, she's a racist. That's who she is. That's what it is. There's nothing more, nothing less coming out of that. Now, what are you going to do about it?
That is a question. That is a good
Hang her up on a stop sign like that white lady said. See, you gotta get behind.
Robert, what do you say? This despicable individual is blaming the child for her racist tirade and cruel public opinion of her. What do you say?
How could you blame the child for who you are? How could you even turn around blaming the public? You just happened to get caught that day on video footage. That's all. Someone was there and recorded you chasing this little colored boy that has a disability around the park, calling him nigger. What was you gonna do if you caught him? Beat him, strangle him, kick him, spit on him, and call him nigger while you're doing all of those things? I'm gonna say you're embarrassed that you turned to this man that was recording it and say, you know, like it's none of his business what the hell is he doing and so on. You don't speak English, you're from a different country, go back where you belong. All of these things are being thrown out there. So how could you feel embarrassed? Or say that you blamed it on the social media or this child from bringing the beast out. That's who you are.
Sean, what do you say?
Repeat that question, please.
According to research, this despicable individual is blaming the child for her racial tirade and the rather cruel public opinion. And when I refer to as despicable individual, I am referring to Shiloh Hendricks. What's your perspective?
That she is blaming a child for her racist rant.
That's right.
Um, her doing that, in my opinion, is based on the fact that that's probably what and how she felt deep down inside about uh, non-white people in the first place. For that to be the first response to come out of her mouth after a 5-year-old is, I don't know if it's actually true or not, but she said went inside her baby's diaper bag and took out his little toy. So she called it he was stealing.
Mm-hmm.
So where she's from, if you're black and you're stealing, you're acting like a little nigga.
Mm. Okay.
Well, she was just mad she couldn't catch his ass, so she started.
Did she know the
Yeah.
boy
that
was autistic?
that too, probably.
That boy's a
That
track
little
star.
boy was fast as Flash, man.
He's a track star. You know, black people can run fast.
Welcome, Timmy. Thank you for joining us. We are on question number 4. I'm gonna bring you right into the discussion. According to research, this despicable individual blames the child for her racial tirade as well as the public's cruel opinion of her. What do you say?
Well, ain't that they always crying when people start to ridicule them, but it's okay when they do it to a child, but then when everybody get on her case, then why is everybody picking on me? Yeah, you didn't think about that when you was doing it to the kid. Now the people's opinion is causing you to feel some type of way, but you really don't care because you probably do it again to some other kid.
Hmm.
Well, you've done it already. You do it on the regular. That's who she
Exactly.
refers to black people as, is nigga. This
Mhm.
isn't new. This is a new thought process. This isn't a new behavior. This is just a caught behavior.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's what I said. That's who
Yeah.
she is.
This ain't new. Right. This ain't new. She's done
Okay.
it. She talked about it. She's behaved this way.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure this is just who she is. And I think it comes to a point that we have to accept people for who they are and move on. Because it's really, what is really going to happen? She didn't hit the kid.
Well, see, but I can't accept that because if you got some dude going around calling all the LGBT whatever people out of their names, this dude is gonna get ridiculed and get in trouble. Somehow he's gonna end up going to jail.
Not for words.
Why
Not for.
isn't the same thing happening when somebody's calling somebody out their name and it's a racial slur?
There's a Freedom of Speech Act. You
How is
can.
that freedom of speech and calling somebody a faggot ain't freedom of speech? That don't make
It
any
is.
sense.
It is freedom of speech to call someone a faggot.
I
To
thought you
call
get in
someone a
trouble for that
nigger.
type of
To
stuff
call
right
someone
Well,
now.
a
that's a
hog.
hate crime. But
To
you,
That's
call
a
someone
hate
a
crime,
pig.
B.
It's all freedom of speech. You're allowed to say what you want. Now, if you take it to the next level and do what you want and put your hands on someone, then that's where it becomes a crime. But there's a loophole that's going to slide her right past this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry. Yeah, it is. It is an unfortunate act that this lady did. But the word nigga has many meanings in our own black community. We use it more than anybody. But the minute a white person says it, it's a blasphemy. Like, oh my God, they said nigger. Black people use nigger all around and throw it out as anything. They call each other niggers, and they might call a
Or if
white
you
person.
call a cop a pig, you're going to jail.
No, you are not.
No, you
Why
ain't,
ain't you?
You could
They
become
because that's
disorderly,
disorderly.
freedom
deal
of
with
speech.
disorderly
You are
conduct.
not going to jail
That's
for
If you
calling
freedom
start
of
somebody a
cutting
nigger.
the
speech.
cops out, they're gonna take you to jail.
I'm seeing a guy right now. I'm on Facebook. I forgot his name, but he's walking up on police calling him all kinds of shit. Like, get the fuck away from me. Don't come near me. Fucking pig. Go back and you're not doing your job, blah, blah, blah. They're not.
He's
Mm-hmm.
lucky.
You're borderline. You can be
Right.
borderline.
Yeah,
What is it called?
that's exactly where he's at, on the borderline.
He's right on the border. He hasn't stepped over, but he's right to a point where there's nothing can be done. He's calling cops pigs and motherfuckers and cursing them out.
Okay.
Well, we gonna need some hood justice. F
Let's
it.
let's 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 refocus. Let's bring it back. Let's go to question number 5. Question number 5. According to research, Shiloh Hendricks started a fundraiser and hopes to relocate after receiving backlash due to her racial tirade the video of her racial tirade, I should say, going viral. So she basically started a fundraiser in hopes that she can earn money to relocate because of the backlash due to the racist video going viral.
Well,
Let's
she didn't start it, Uncle D. The lady that said they had black fatigue started it in support of her.
Mhm.
all right.
So how could they stop the GoFundMe page for the guy that killed the cop, but no one's doing anything about this GoFundMe?
That's the
So
point, B.
because that what he did was a crime. Because we stated this last week that in the bylaws of the GoFund, that's why they was a because was it Congress, not Congress, or the state representatives or somebody from the Minnesota, that the state of Minnesota, um, they threatened the GoFundMe to expose them because it's in their bylaws that they cannot raise money
mhm.
for any persons or entity or anything like that that has been convicted of a crime.
That was Cincinnati where the cop got ran over.
Well, we
And
need hood justice once again because we know why he did it. It's no justifying it, but that man needs support. The same way that they're making it seem like, oh, this lady needs support because she's getting so much backlash. What the hell is the difference?
All right. So
So
at the
the difference, the difference is because, like I said, it's in the GoFund's bylaw. That's why they were able to stop the GoFundMe for that father to where this here, um, she's looking for help and relief and protection, and so it falls in the guidelines of what the GoFundMe can be established for.
so
Thinking she gonna make a lot of money. That's what she
let me
thinking.
let me let me let me let me represent this question to you guys again, and we're gonna go around and hear everybody's opinion, whereas the question is concerned. Question number 5. According to research, Shiloh Hendricks started a fundraiser in hopes to relocate um, after receiving backlash due to her racist tirade going viral. Um, how do you feel about that, Patsy? She started a fundraiser in hopes to relocate due to the backlash. How do you feel about that?
I don't think she should have that support because she's a she was someone acting badly, and the backlash is coming at her because she acted badly towards not just a black person but a black child. And there's also a GoFundMe thing for their family that she attacked that child for for that family through the NAACP.
Hmm.
Also, from what I was some of the videos I was watching today. So yeah, but I don't I think she that family of that child needs to take her behind to court with the videos and everything, and hopefully they made a police well obviously they must have made a police report but since they were investigating it, but I would take that lady to court, the parents of that child, and be like, look it, this woman needs to go to jail just for running after my child and verbally attacking that child.
Mhm. Tanya, what do you say?
well, I'm gonna agree with Patsy about the court part of it because the little boy he's autistic, so she's already done traumatized him even more by yelling slurs at him and chasing him around the park. So he already got some disability stuff going on, and she making it even more with his mental because they look at us as the violent ones, and he gonna have this image of this woman chasing him around the park. He's thinking he running for his life, you know. But as far as the fundraising is concerned, she might have started the GoFundMe, but she posted it on X, which is flooded with white supremacist users on there, and they amplified it by reposting it like 25,000 plus times. That's how they got the momentum going for her to get as much money as she's gotten.
Okay. Sean, according to research, Shiloh Hendricks started this fundraiser in hopes of relocating after she received backlash due to her racist tirade going viral. How do you feel about that?
She had to do what she needed to do. I mean, she gave a list of all the things to where she felt threatened and that her life and the safety of her family was in jeopardy. I mean, I can't. These are the means that are allotted to her. Who am I to judge that? So I think if I was in her shoes, I'd do the same exact thing.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
I think it's ironic because the black people weren't even the ones that were going crazy on the lady. I'm telling you, it was her own. It was the white people that was threatening this lady. They were upset at her for even having to push this narrative right now. So when they're saying that she's raising money and all this craziness because of black fatigue, and it's just a wild push on identity theft. That's what I'm doing. She's like an imposter, making it seem like something is going on to her when in all actuality she's doing something her ancestors did to cause us a whole bunch of pain.
Okay. Bert, what's your perspective? Yes.
I don't. Perspective on what? Let's say. What do you want my perspective on?
So I want to know how you feel about Shiloh Hendricks starting a fundraiser uh, in hopes of relocating after the backlash that she received from her racist tirade going viral. Initially, well, subsequently, she's the one that brought the backlash about because of her behavior. How do you feel about that?
I mean, she has a right. Like Sean said, that's her right to ask her people for help. And that's her people's right to give her help. Somebody said, I thought I heard she raised over $1 million. That could be $1 from 1 million racist people. Score.
Oh, we can pull millions, B. She raised over 3 million or something. It might be like 6 or something right now.
Amen. I'm out. Good looking out, community. I mean, too bad we couldn't come together as a people to do that for our own people, to support our own people's, movements. But
But the NAACP has started a GoFundMe for that family of that child.
well, NAAC don't need a GoFundMe. They got millions.
We
I know,
tired of
but
the
they started one
NAACP
for
anyway.
that family for the child.
All right. Robert, what's your perspective?
Sorry. I thought that I was off mute. To that GoFundMe money, um listen, that don't last forever. What comes with that money and what her children has to deal with for years to come is they have a racist mom. and they might just want to have a black friend or two, but they're always going to be reminded of this is how your mom's acted towards a 5-year-old color boy that wasn't going to be able to defend himself at all if you would have pushed him, kicked him, and all of the stuff I said earlier. This is a form of verbal child abuse and attempt to harm a minor. You chased him. Your end results was what? What was you going to do? Snatch the toy out of his arms and hands and hurt him by doing that even? Come on now.
Patsy Rector has joined the meeting.
Where were the parents at when all of this was happening?
He was gonna twist his arm a little bit.
We're not at all certain if they were present or not, because I don't think the research, they haven't been forthcoming with that, to be honest.
I don't think his parents was there at all because that guy was recording it and he didn't seem like he was their the boy's parent. He was just telling the lady to leave him alone.
So how is a 5-year-old autistic kid alone, unsupervised at a park? They're going to find a way to put DCF in that family's life for that alone. Unsupervised disabled child alone. I mean, there's got to be more to it. It can't just be that.
Maybe we need to do a fact check and see if the parents was there.
While we're on
And I don't think he's 5. I think the kid that he took the toy from is 5, and he's 10 or something.
No,
the mother said that her child was 18 months old.
And the kid is 5. That's been verified. The villain.
Oh yeah, I don't know how he was in that park by himself.
So let me say this to you guys. Someone go ahead and fact check that while we're recording. And then when there's a break in discussion, give us that fun fact. Timmy, would you like to answer the question? How do you feel about Shiloh Hendricks starting this fundraiser after receiving backlash due to her racial tirade?
Well, the problem I have with that is that people who really go through stuff, they don't get that help because people like her, that you started this nonsense and now you're crying wolf. And now you want people to be, sympathetic to you, and you want to pour it on to make it look like you're being threatened so people can help you. Now, it's fine. It's cool that you got people that will help somebody in need, but I would say some people that be crying for need of help, they really be putting themselves in predicaments that they necessarily didn't have to be into.
Let me stay with you, Timmy. So question 6, you guys alluded to it, or you just flat out, you gave some numbers, and I'm going to challenge you guys to go and fact check your numbers, whereas the amount raised is concerned. And if you can do that within this recording, that'd be great. So, all right, Timmy, question number 6. Would it shock you to learn that this hate monger has raised over $600,000 to help her plight? That was the number last recorded. So if there's something higher, someone please fact check that. But would it shock you to learn that this hate monger, meaning Shiloh Hendricks, was able to raise over $600,000 to help support her plight? And that is to relocate due to the fact that she was supposedly, allegedly receiving threats on her children on her home, on her way of life. She went as far as saying that she can't even go to the gym to exercise. Everybody knows who she is. They know her face. They know her name. Why is
Oh, shit.
such a bad thing happening to her? Why has this befalling her? Why has this taken place? What do you say?
This is what they all. This is what they all do. Most of them who create problems for themselves. This is what they do. They pour it on extra. Now she ain't she ain't talking about herself really. She really throwing it in there even more. Mention the kids, because don't nobody want to see nobody's kids be in danger.
Hmm?
So she used the kids as a tool to get more, and then say things like she can't go to the gym because everybody know. Yeah, you the one that wanted to be noticed. Now you getting exactly what you wanted. You wanted to get noticed. You got it. Now you wanted to make money from it. You're doing that.
Robert, what's your perspective?
It doesn't shock me. It doesn't shock me at all. I mean, I expect them to come together and they can raise money. It's That's nothing like shocking. No, not at all.
Okay. Bert, what do you say?
Say it again. I was stuck on Bob's statement.
Does it shock you to learn that this hate monger was able to earn over $600,000, which was last reported to help support her plight?
No, because we're living in that time of, I'm not surprised at all that she raised that money. There's many more out there. You think she's the only one?
Hmm.
She's been the only one? I'm not surprised at all she raised that kind of bread.
Yeah, I'm sorry, David. I had my phone on mute. I was trying to fact check. But yeah, I'm not surprised either.
Okay. Bert, did you have more to add?
No,
Sorry.
I'm not surprised. You got a following, you got a backing on this matter. This is big business right here, and she ain't gonna use all of that. Somebody's gonna get a piece of that 600, 3 million, whatever that's out there.
Okay.
But damn, I better start thinking about a GoFundMe for something. Shit.
Probably ain't gonna raise that type of money.
Patsy, did you have any more to add before I go to the next person?
Oh no, that was it.
Gregory?
Yeah, it says that her GoFundMe is now over $1 million. It didn't specify how much, but the one for the NAACP has only raised $4,000 so far, and their
Oh,
goal is only 350,000.
so let me stop you
But
there.
that list,
Let me stop you right there. So was it Shiloh Hendricks' goal to raise 1 million, or has it reached 1 million?
this wasn't ever really her goal. This somebody else started this GoFundMe in support of her because they felt like she was being threatened. But once again, like I said, the only people that was threatening her was her own fellow white people. So it's just crazy that any of that's going on. It's almost like a sham.
I would
Like,
say
are y'all
let
playing
her
us
get
right
the money. Let her get the money and sue her for child endangerment. Not
Mm-hmm.
criminal, but civil. Go after that
Right.
money.
That's what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Child endangerment. That is a crime.
Maybe that's why the parents are being such
Silent.
so silent. Tanya, let's get your perspective. Would it shock you to learn that this hate monger was able to raise over $600,000 to help
No.
fight?
So the research that I got, what I was reading was published on May 7th, 2025. this incident happened on April 28th. And from April 28th to May 7th, she posted it on X herself. And the people on X, the extremists on X, took it over and amplified it. And her goal was originally $1 million. Remember, this happened on April 28th. This
Yes.
article that I'm reading was published on May 7th. And at that point in time, her goal, she had gathered $700,000.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I wouldn't put it past that she's probably well over $1 million now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And she already got her house. She was bragging about, oh, we're moving, we're in the process of moving. We already got the home. We're relocating. And if I want to talk about it later on, which I probably won't, but then I will. She knows when this money dies down, the quick way of reing up is doing more talk shows, podcasts, all of that.
Can I just add to this too, David, that there's a lot of billionaires that's out there pushing this agenda,
Mm-hmm.
and so a lot of them probably quietly out of the public is giving her money to keep this going.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because it's going to inspire other white women to come out and do the same thing.
Okay. Sean, what's your perspective?
I'm with Bird. I'm not surprised at all because this type of behavior, not necessarily what she did as far as calling, the little boy the N-word, but people, uh, this world has become a world of doing certain things and then turning around and trying to play the victim.
Cynicism.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Thank you, Sister. And that's what this is. So no, I'm not surprised at all.
Okay. All right, guys, let me take this time to go ahead and promote our online store. And in this store, we have a t-shirt that says we are not the same. And it's becoming more apparent. We also have a t-shirt that says the Americas are unapologetic. So if you're looking for an apology, you can forget it. Robert, where can they purchase these items?
Well, if you're a black bear or even a polar bear, you all can shop at emporiumplex.org, where you will find fashions in all brands. And we forever adopt a Paris, still a man, you serum, adopt a Paris ladies first, and SOS support our sisters, and some merch in emporiumplex.org. For our viewers that's watching us on YouTube, continue to watch. We appreciate you. For the ones that haven't subscribed, or even if you haven't hit the like button, do so. We appreciate you.
All right, guys, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that like button because Robert is the one that checks and he does our research. So we know there are some people that are still ghosting the page. You guys, y'all like the content, and I like that. But what I would like even more is if you guys will hit that like button so that you let everybody else know what we know. You're watching and you're listening. And I said this to my panel, because of that, we need to continue to stay up on our game. Let's go to question number 7. Question number 7. Do the contributors of the White Moms fundraiser lack a moral compass? Again, do all these donors, these supporters, do they lack a moral compass? Patsy, what do you say?
They're lacking something besides morals. If they want to claim that they know God, they don't know God well enough. So, yeah, they're lacking a lot of stuff.
Okay. Tanya, what do you say?
I'm gonna agree with Patsy.
Sean?
Yeah, I won't go against the ladies. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay. Gregory?
Got the lady's information that started the GoFundMe. Her name is Lily Gaddis. I suggest y'all look into her too because she's doing a campaign thing right now where she's going around saying the black fatigue thing and that white people are sick of black people complaining. Her name
So,
is Lily Gaddis.
so again, Gregory, thank you for that fun fact. Do these supporters of Shiloh Hendricks fundraiser, do they lack a moral compass?
Hell yeah, especially look at once again, look at this Lily Gaddis lady. She is the biggest supporter of the Shiloh Hendricks lady, and it is disgusting the way that these people are thinking. It's nuts. You can't make it up.
Okay. Timmy, what do you say?
I think if you worry about your kids' safety, then you should feel that same way about someone else's kid. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you would be wanting that lady to have compassion for your kid. So I just think it is stupid that, people go off of emotion and don't think of what they're doing before they start to react.
Bert, what's your perspective? Do these contributors to Shiloh Hendricks's fundraiser lack a moral compass?
I think they're racist just like her.
Mm.
There's really nothing else to say. The people that support that behavior, people that exhibit that behavior or believe that behavior is appropriate. So yeah, that's where they are. That's who they are. It isn't
I
about moral
concur.
compass. It's who they are. We just have to
I
kind of
concur.
understand that.
Okay. Robert, what do you say?
I agree exactly with Bird and the ladies. I agree with them.
All right, Robert, we're going to stay with you. Question number 8. Do you believe that this evil doer is remorseful, or shall she be a repeat offender?
She's definitely doing it as we speak. Now, that's the way I feel because this don't look like it was something new. She was struggling with it. Just look like it was flowing easy. Just look like who she is. So it might not be happening literally as we're speaking, but she got to bring her baby back to a park one day. Just because you relocate don't mean it ain't gonna be no color people.
Yeah, yeah.
What if it's her own kind that's doing it to her? Like it was that was attacking her.
Hmm. Timmy, um, do you believe that this evildoer is a remorseful woman, or shall she be a repeat offender?
Oh no, she gonna do it again. She gonna do it again. She's not even remorseful. If she was remorseful, she wouldn't be posting and bragging about it. That just shows that she's not remorseful.
Mm-hmm. 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 Sean, what do you say?
She's gonna I mean she's gonna ride this out. She won't have to do anything again on this level because she's gonna already be famous for who she is, and she's gonna be able to actually say certain things now with no repercussion because this is who she is, and there's nothing that's gonna change that.
Right? What do you say? Is she at all remorseful, or is she going to be guilty of such behavior again?
I believe she's just feeling guilty because she got. I believe who she is who she is. Is she still going to see the same thing? Will she probably be more mindful of people having video when she's on a rant? Yes, but now it just goes underground. But it ain't going to change.
Okay. Gregory, what do you say?
You said, do I think she's remorseful for what she did?
Do you believe that this evildoer is remorseful, or shall she be a repeat offender of such behavior?
She's definitely gonna be a repeat offender of such behavior, and if she was remorseful, her like-minded crowd has made her comfortable now to the point where she's raising money, and there's other people speaking out. It's gonna be easier for her to try to justify herself. But I can see this. I can tell you, I can see this lady in the long run turning around and saying, "That was me back then, and now I'm a changed woman. I love black
All right.
Patsy, what do you say? Is this evildoer a remorseful woman, or shall she be a repeat offender?
Remorseful? I don't think so. Her behavior towards that man that was recording her, hell, she didn't give a hoot. When she was talking to that man, which was another parent. Secondly, she'll do it again at another wherever she says she's gonna relocate to. She's gonna do it again there, but she will never know whether or not wherever she ends up will with she might have repercussions
people."
wherever the heck she ends up going.
Hmm.
Because that place where she says she wherever she go might be a little bit more stricter on that racist behavior.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Tanya, what's your perspective?
No, she's not remorseful. And yes, she'll do it again.
Okay. Tanya, we're gonna stay with you. We're gonna go to question number 9. Do good Samaritans place themselves at risk when confronting these wrongdoers?
Yes, they do put themselves at risk, but all I can say about Good Samaritans is that God got them covered.
Okay. Patsy, what do you say?
Yeah, these good Samaritans do put themselves at risk, but um, at what cost are they doing it? What is the reasoning behind? Because they saw this child being with a disability. They rather because apparently that parent might have a child themselves. So they were at the park seeing that this woman running after another child with a disability they rather step and to protect that child because for whatever reasons the parents of that disability child didn't do it.
Mm. Timmy, what do you say?
I'd say that uh, if you as a parent are supposed to protect, and if you see someone else's kid in danger, you would put your life on the line for that kid or an elderly person, since they are the ones that are most vulnerable. So I do see people put their life on the line, but you do what's right, as they always say, right is right, wrong is wrong. And when you see someone doing wrong, then you step in and try to make things right by sticking up for that person or standing up for that person, because they can't do for themselves. So you
Mm.
teach you treat one as you would want them to treat you. That's how, if you going by the Bible and going by what the life is supposed to live by, then that's what you're supposed to do. Period. If you wasn't taught that, then you selfish. You just about yourself because you wasn't taught that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Um, Question number 9, Sean. Do good Samaritans place themselves in harm's way when confronting wrongdoers?
In this world today, you have to be careful because you never know the mindset of the person that you're approaching.
Okay. Uh, Gregory, what do you say?
I think camera phones has turned people into suckers. This is what really should have happened to this lady. The dude recording on the phone should have walked up and slapped the shit out of her.
Oh,
Instead, fair. These people are getting too comfortable. Fuck out of here. You need to get your face slapped, bitch. Call him a nigga again. I dare you.
okay. Uh, Bird, what do you say?
I think people should mind their business.
Hmm.
You don't know what that person got going on with them. They might pull out a gun and shoot you in your face. Mind your business. Sorry.
All
Do
right.
your diligence. You can record and keep it moving. Record it, keep it moving, blah blah blah. But you getting involved in something that ain't pertain to you,
Well, F
you might
that
get
B. Shoot her first for saying it.
you might get hurt.
Robert, what's your perspective?
I say they put themselves in danger all the time. Anytime you're trying to do right by someone in need, being victimized or whatever going on out there, you straight up always going to put yourself in danger because you don't know the perpetrator. You don't know what this person's capable of doing, what they have on them. So, yes, I say they're always in danger. If you're thinking you're doing something out the goodness of your heart because we was raised not to sit by and let the innocent just be kidnapped, beat down in public or wherever it is. Your first instinct is to step in and say, "Hey, what's going on? Do you know this child? Let me get this child away from you. If you do know, I'm calling for child services or the police or whatever to better help this situation." But we tend to put ourselves in danger by trying to be the good guy or the good woman, helping out.
Okay. I'm gonna stay with you, Robert, for question number 10. Question number 10. According to delusional racist cowards, this white mom is being persecuted because she made a choice to exercise her constitutional rights that grants her freedom of speech. She is the true victim in this situation, and this child is the villain. What do you say to that?
We teach our children, let's just start off this way. We was taught as children right and wrong. As an adult, she knows right from wrong. If you wouldn't want no one chasing your child around the park over a toy, yes, that's their personal belongings, but over a toy, and their parent gets up and chase your doggone little 5-year-old Caucasian baby around, calling it the worstest thing you can imagine that they would call a Caucasian little baby. Because there's some things they could have said or said. But I'm just saying, it's not right. You know wrong from right.
Hmm. Okay.
She's an adult. He's a child. She could have handled that a little bit different, a lot different.
Mm-hmm. Ladies, hold tight. I'm gonna go around the board. I'm gonna go to the men, and then I'm gonna come to you guys. Bert, let me give you the question again. Question number 10. According to delusional racist cowards, this white mom is being persecuted because she made a choice to exercise her constitutional rights that grants her freedom of speech. She is the true victim, and this child is the villain. What do you say to that sanctimonious BS?
I mean, I said this at the beginning of the podcast. It is her right to say what she wants. And yes, she is being persecuted for saying what she is her rightful, her constitutional right. I don't know, I won't call her a victim, but I will say that's her right to say that. She can say what she wants. Morally, is it good? No. Morally, ethically, any otherly is not right. But it is her right to have freedom of speech, and it is her right to exhaust that.
Huh?
I
Gregory?
wouldn't call her a victim. I call her ignorant, but
I think it's her right, but in all actuality, if the roles were reversed and it was a little white kid running around from a black mother and the black mother was carrying her 18-month-old kid, calling this kid all types of Neanderthals and white crackers and motherfucking cavemen, all types of craziness. This black lady she would have had to face some type of repercussions. It's sad when you got somebody doing something that they know is morally wrong and there's no repercussions for them. There should be some. That's why I said maybe we need street justice, like the white people would say. Maybe you need to hang this witch up on a stake.
Mm.
Dave, real quick, Gregory touched it. If it had been a black parent, that child went through that, they did that to the white kid, the police would have been there. Turn around, miss, put your hands behind your back. You were chasing this little boy around. You scared the hell out of him. So and so, so and so.
I believe so. I believe so.
I
it's
believe
not
it
a
would have been the
crime, though.
same case. I would believe it would have been the same thing in this case had someone called the cops.
Yeah, should have been, but
Hmm.
we will
We'll
never
never
know
know. Right.
because they
Well, that
failed.
guy should have did it. She was calling him all types of immigrants too. I mean, you're gonna record the video so it can go viral, but you're not gonna do nothing for justice, though. That's what I'm saying. Maybe
And that's
he should have put his phone down and went over and slapped a bit. Then maybe we
you
can have a
said.
whole different conversation.
You said something very profound right there, Gregory, to where that's where we are in society, to where That's why everything that she's done, it seems normal because this is what we've become. When things are happening, like how fast do people call in the cops, this and that, and the other? The first thing we do is, yeah, we have the phone in our hand, but we ain't dialing 911. We flip into the camera.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, the guy that was filming, he could have been someone of a different nationality,
He
but
could have been an illegal immigrant. ICE would have came
not
for him.
illegal. He could have been legal, but they take illegals as well as illegal.
Mm.
They take the people
Yeah.
who are rightly supposed to be here.
Supposed to be citizens.
I don't
They're
even think that
rightfully
was his,
citizens.
and I hear
Yes.
you, Tanya, but I don't even think that was his concern. His concern was to to make this woman go viral, to show what it
Right.
was that she was
Yeah.
doing.
See,
Right.
there you
I,
go.
yeah.
Because if he was
That's
concerned with
exactly.
that
The
and that goes
And
viral, then the cops would be looking to see, okay, who did this recording? And now
Mhm.
he's putting himself in jeopardy that way.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that's what his thought process is. Like I said, the
I didn't
first
say that
thing,
was his thought process. I was just saying that could have been a scenario as
yeah,
to why he didn't call the police.
yeah,
You guys, I don't want
but
y'all to, because I want to make sure, you guys answer this question the way it's
yes,
being
sir.
presented. Because you did answer it in one aspect, Sean, but I want you to elaborate on the other part. Whereas these little despicable individuals is saying that she's the victim and the child is the villain. How do you feel about that?
Again, it's at the look at the people or the individuals that are saying what they're saying.
Hmm.
That where I'm gonna go this route. Let's not even look at the color aspect of it. Let's look at the mindset that how is a child more threatening to an adult, a
Mhm.
5-year-old child at that.
And that's the part I'm talking about. I don't want to
So
lose focus.
that's the mindsets of individuals who are looking for certain things to justify foolishness.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. All right, let's get these ladies in here. Tanya, here's the question. Question number 10. Um, Question number 10. According to delusional racist cowards, this white mom is being persecuted because she made a choice to exercise her constitutional rights that grants her freedom of speech. She is the true victim. I can't even fix my lips to say, but I'm gonna say it the way it was presented to me. She is the true victim, and this child is the villain. How do you feel about that?
I'm gonna agree with Bird was saying that she has a right to say what she said, that free speech, but she went overboard when she became aggressive and was chasing him and made him feel threatened. That's when he felt threatened. So then she's not a victim. She's the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna agree with Sean with what he just said.
Hmm. Patsy, what do you say?
Um, she is a victim of her own bad behavior. And and any child, especially a child with a disability at that young of an age, at 5 years old, you do not have to chase them to actually guide them and say, just pull them aside and call them back, or go to those parents and say, this child went in my bag. She might have been away from the bag for a minute playing with her own baby when she noticed a child and be like, look it, do you know your child got one of my toys? you know, that's she should have rerouted her thinking instead of having a racist attitude and victimizing the child and not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna answer this question because I'm gonna point out a few things based upon what you guys have said too. So please let me address this, and please don't no one interrupt me. Um, First of all, we are living in a bizarre world because now what is good is considered to be bad, and what is bad is considered to be good. We are rewarding bad behavior, as you see, in the sense where you got all these people that got behind this woman because she did a hateful thing. And you saying you did it in the sense that you was right and wrong, but it was wrong to begin with. There's no way of righting that. It was already done. It was videotaped. It went viral. And then you guys exacerbated the situation by the white supremacists jumping on board, and it's not shocking that they would because they support that type of behavior. Anytime they get a chance to speak badly or treat people of color badly, they do so. But we are at the point where now we are justifying the mistreatment of a child. It doesn't matter if it was a black child, it's a child. And when we talk about people have constitutional rights, freedom of speech, okay, so let's talk about that, right? Let me just say this. How come it's a bad thing when every other gender, group, or race is taught, when, let's say, certain groups are talked badly about, it's considered to be a hate crime? Why isn't this being considered or referred to or treated like such? It's a hateful act. It's a hate crime. And when Mark Wahlberg allegedly said something about some Vietnamese and it was considered to be racist and stuff like that, they came back years later and said this was a hate crime, right? He had to go and get that infraction sealed so that they could no longer, but they put it out there and it was said, that's why I know it. I didn't know it. I was not aware that this has happened. And before they brought it to the attention of the public. When the LGBTQ plus community is being attacked, they say it's a hate crime, right? When a white person is being treated wrongly, and if it's a white woman, it's even worse, it's considered to be a hate crime. So Gregory says several times someone should have smacked her. Someone should have did this. Someone should have did that.
Stupid games, win
Had
stupid
they
prizes.
done it, it would have been considered to be a hate crime. If Black people behave the way that people are treating us, it's going to be a hate crime. If it's wrong all across the board. There should not be no exceptions to the so-called rule. We can't make excuses for the wrongdoing. This was wrong. We adults are supposed to be basically creating good behavior, being of a good example. This is not, we're America. We you dropped the ball again. That's all I'm gonna say. You dropped the ball again in this situation. This is wrong, and y'all can't justify. I don't care what you say. Freedom of speech. Keep that same energy when y'all are mistreating us and we're
When
out
you
there
get slapped,
protesting. When we're out there protesting, ain't no such thing as freedom of speech thing. Now they're being unruly. They're disturbing the peace. What happened to freedom of speech then? All right, we're gonna go on to number 11 because I can get very hyped up about this situation. Question number 11. Is it safe to say that Shiloh Hendricks is a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan, and should she be charged with child endangerment? Patsy, what do you say? Most definitely, because you're abusing a child, so you should have child abuse charges, child endangerment. He needs to be charged with abuse on a disabled person, which happens to be a child. So therefore, all those charges, whatever they can get on her from with this video and this evidence, they this woman has done to that child, and then on top of that, have a charge of a hate crime towards a child.
Mm-hmm. Hate. Tanya, question number 11. Is it safe to say that Shiloh Hendricks, because I'm going to call you by your name, is a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan, and should she be brought up on child endangerment charges?
Yes and hell yes.
Okay. Timmy, what do you say?
Is it a fact that she's a card carrying Ku Klux Klan member?
Actions speak louder than words.
Oh,
Because just because an action doesn't mean that she's with them, you know. But I think, you know, what comes around goes around. And God forbid something like that happened to the 18-month-old baby,
Hmm.
you know, down the line. That baby has problems with in school where they're being picked on. And, you know, it I don't think she's gonna feel the same as that the mother of that boy. I don't think she's gonna feel the same way as she felt, but she's gonna experience what she experienced.
Okay. Gregory, what's your perspective?
I think it's no doubt about her being a card carrying member because she's accepting money from the same people and she's not speaking out saying that she's sorry or anything. She has no remorse. And once again, like I said, if the roles were reversed, had it been not even that man that slapped her, even if somebody slaps her now, you get what I'm saying? Justice is justice in the eye of the beholder. It doesn't matter if she feels like she was right for calling this little boy a nigga. Somebody in the world feels like you need to be slapped. You get what I'm saying? So when somebody comes and serves her that justice card, that person's gonna get in trouble. But in all actuality, this is what she deserves. You get what I'm saying? And we can't keep denying the fact that this is the way that the cookie crumbles for us black people, anyways. Because look at Emmett Till and look at goddamn Rodney King. And when OJ killed that white lady, white people were so mad at black people. You get what I'm saying? So once again, justice is justice in the eye of the beholder. And if somebody come by and slap her, spit on her son, it's what she gets.
I
Bird,
just saw that.
Bird, what do you say?
Yes, she could be charged with child endangerment. I said that earlier in the podcast. There is no crime yelling freedom of speech, calling him the N word, but you endangered this handicapped child. So you violated, those type of rights that can be deemed a crime. So yeah, she could be prosecuted for child endangerment. But again, you may not go to jail for this. You may not do no real time. If you get time, you could get probation. It could be something like that. But her name is tarnished wherever she goes. She can move anywhere she wants, unless
Mm-hmm.
you move to like back bottom Mississippi with all the racist white towns and racist white people and fit in just fine. So it's all about where she's gonna
Go
go,
back
and
where she's going.
Robert, what's your perspective?
Listen, should she, would she, could she? It ain't gonna make us happy either which way. Cause even if they brought up on something, it's gonna just be a little kiss on the cheek. You know, good job. Um, you did your job. We're waiting for the next person to step up like you. So it doesn't make a difference to our culture. It ain't gonna be no big successful blow that we're gonna get out of this. Nothing at all. If she's president, KKK all around the world or whatever you saying she is, I believe that she believes in that her she's superior. Her white race is superior to everyone other than that white race.
Mhm. Mhm.
Half of them don't even know if they're pure white or not anyway. They all probably mixed. They're all of them that's yelling white power and all that. They all probably all mixed and don't even know.
And Dave, before you move on, mind you, I was telling you that from this case right here, led another white woman a week later to get on a school bus and call a little black boy a nigger and just
See?
yelled all at him and all that, and they got that on camera.
See?
And then
See?
it moves on from her doing that for to go to Piers Morgan's show, and this lady's like white women are
That's
taking back
really
their
get
country. They're not black people no
That's
more.
really get it. That's
They've
the
been
lady that
silent.
started fundraising.
Listen, they said they've been silent for too long and letting black people talk about white people all type of ways, calling them all out their names, saying them this and that. Now white women are taking their country back, and they will continue to call you as they see
You
fit.
said white women should be able to say what they want because this is a white country. I couldn't
And
believe you said
Woo!
that.
Yeah. Sean, what's your perspective?
Well, if she
And
wasn't, she is now because she feels accepted.
mm-hmm.
She feels vindicated and feels entitled
Mhm. All right.
because other than what she is speaking of, there's really no real repercussions for what she's done.
Mhm. All right. We're going to go to question number 12. All right. Good answers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's end strong. Question number 12. Has the actions of the current presidential administration emboldened bigots everywhere, subsequently allowing them to run amok, removing their hoods and masks? Gregory, what do you say?
Thank you, thank you. Hell no, because as I've been alluding to since earlier, this is nothing new. And it's like we just sweep it under the rug and don't want to pay attention to it. Racism is a real problem in America and probably all over the world. So this is nothing new. We need to go back to the drawing board and stop blaming people and figure out how we can actually come together and start building what we used to have, like Black Wall Street.
Okay. Patsy, same question. Has the actions of the current presidential administration emboldened bigots everywhere, subsequently allowing them to run amok, removing their hoods and masks?
Um, I think that he only has part of the blame on it, not the full blame, but they feel like he ain't gonna do nothing to them because he believes the same thing that they believe. But in all, bottom line is, it's like if you're acting inappropriate towards other people and without morals and treating people without the same respect that you want them to give you, then you are morally and um, undividedly wrong.
Okay. Bird, what's your perspective?
The hoods and masks been off.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think our government, our president right now is I get it. Everybody, he's a racist, but he's freeing black people.
Timmy, same question. Has the actions of the current presidential administration emboldened bigots everywhere, subsequently allowing them to run amok, removing their hoods and masks?
I agree with her. The hoods and masks already been off. Trump is just the the face. You know, they using him,
Ball
but
guy. Say it right.
they using him, but he's also using them. Both parties is using each other, but he's getting the best of them. They getting the worst of the end of it. He's getting the best end of it. You know, so it's like it goes together. If you know that those two goes hand in hand. If you they helping you out, and then in return you help them out because it was your speech and your words that ignited that issue on January 6th. Now they, got behind you and helped you become president again and whatnot. And then in return, you had to free those damn January 6th people because if you didn't, then they were going to call you a traitor. They would say you betrayed them. So he do what he can do to stay in the good of their graces because he don't want to disappoint them.
Okay. Robert, what do you say?
What's the question again?
Has the actions of the current presidential administration emboldened bigots everywhere, subsequently allowing them to run amok, removing both their hoods and masks?
Yes. Yes. I'm going to say to my people, I'm going to use three bears. There's a black bear. I mentioned that earlier. Then you got a panda bear and you got a polar bear. Your polar bear is the unmasked white people. The panda bear is the results of the rape victims, the black women that had the white men's babies. So that's your mulatto race. Then you got that dirty old black bear that they tend to not want to hear or see.
What about the brown grizzly bear?
He's in the dirt too.
The killer.
He's a part of
The black
us.
bears ain't necessarily trying to eat nobody.
You got to understand, all of them two bears in the dirt, that polar bear is so purely clean by that ice and water, and just it looks like a better picture than a dirty old bear.
All right. Sean, let me see if you can make some sense of this, my brother. Um, has the actions of the current presidential administration basically emboldened bigots everywhere, subsequently allowing them to run amok, removing their hoods and masks? What do you say?
I say absolutely. And it's also entitled a lot of us to say some ignorant stuff and stand behind it without having any actual factual
Civility.
What was that?
Civility.
Yeah. Thank you, Sister T, to their statements. The racism that everyone has been alluding to that has always been here has been the systemic racism to where people had they hid behind that. So they was using policies to be racist. Now you can just come straight out and without any fear of any repercussion from society, the victim that you're ridiculing or being racist against, or the system is going to have anything, will hold you accountable for anything. So that's how I'm going to answer your question, to where if this presidency has taken the hood, if you will, off of those that have always been this way. Yes, because they no longer hide behind the systems that allowed them to be racist. They now can be straight out in your face and be racist.
Yes, yes. Love it, love it, love it. T,
Yeah,
say beloved.
I'm agreeing with everything that Sean said, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right, I'm going to have the final word in this discussion. So thank everyone for your participation. I appreciate you. Now hear this. Your white privilege does not give you the right to harm any member of another village. Again, I'll say it slow so you can understand. White privilege does not give you the right to mistreat any member of the opposite village. Now let that marinate. This has been the Still a Man podcast. See you guys next week. God bless you.